Hey everybody, it's Captain Shane, and today I'm going to be giving you an honest review of these ProDeskSim MD-11 Throttle components for your Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. So I just got these today, and if you notice on here, I ordered these on June 21st, 2024, and today it's it's August 5th. So I've waited 6 weeks for these. And I gotta say, I'm not too thrilled with what I got, but I want to be honest and I'll tell you about what I got. So let's start with the build quality on these. So I gotta say, I'm not too excited. Now I know these are all 3D printed and stuff, but I would expect them to do a little more quality control for stuff like this. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a lot of leftover 3D printing junk on here that I think they could have taken off. There's that. There's just a lot of that leftover plastic from when they made these 3D printings on these parts. Now, is it egregious? No. Does it affect anything? Not really. But I think for a set of throttle pieces that cost over $100, I shouldn't be dealing with pieces of leftover plastic for when these are 3D printed. Come on, guys. You can do a little bit better than that, right? Okay. The next issue I have with build quality are these throttle reverser levers. I mean, look at this. There's absolutely no retention on all of them. Look at this. I can see this being a huge problem getting inadvertently activated. So how they work is that there's these plastic pieces here that have little like dimples in them, and they're supposed to engage little dimples on the throttle, but the problem is this plastic is bowed out here and here. You can see it better from this angle. Do you see how it's bowed out right here? So those little dimples are never going to engage the dents in your throttle, so there's no retention there, and I think that's really bad, and I'm going to be sending them an email about that. That's not okay for me. I need a little more retention in my reverse levers than that. So those are my two big complaints with the build quality on this set right now, is the fact that they didn't do a very good job cleaning off the leftover pieces from the 3D printing, and the reverse levers don't have any retention because they're not well formed. So that's a problem. Another issue that I have with this is that, as advertised, here, let me show you the throttle quadrant here. There's supposed to be a piece that goes here that keeps the Bravo like down detent from being engaged, right? And I really like that, because sometimes when you're putting your throttles to idle and you go to throw your reverse levers, you push these throttles into this detent. It just makes it awkward to get them back where you want them later on. So this thing was supposed to come with that, but it didn't. So right now we have this ground spoiler detent thing and this flap detent thing, and on the website it shows them as attached here, right? Like that, with another piece connecting them in the middle that goes across the bottom. That's supposed to be a hard stop for these throttle levers from going down here, but it didn't come with that. So I'm gonna have to call them up or email them and say, hey, where's my throttle blocker plate that's supposed to be part of this? It didn't come with it. It's not even attached, and it's not there. If they modified the design, it's fine, but that's not what I paid for. I paid for what was on the website. So that's another complaint that I have. Anyway, enough with the complaining. Let me show you how to install this thing now. Okay, we'll start from left to right and go all the way across. The only tool you'll need for this is going to be a small Phillips screwdriver. Okay, that's all you need, and I'll show you why. Let's start with this ground spoiler detent plate. Goes like so, with the ground spoiler on the bottom. Let me get you a little closer here. Okay, that's gonna go like so. You fit it right here and you clip it in. That's it. And it kind of floats on the top. Then you're gonna take your spoiler handle, and that's gonna clip right in, right there. And it clips down, and it's got a little ball bearing that keeps it in these detent. And this I do like. This is really nice and positive. I was using a set of MD-11 throttles that I got off of Etsy, which were good, but there was no retention and no real detents for the spoiler handles, so they would be floating around sometimes, and you have to kind of guess at where. There we go. Sorry, I didn't have it all the way down. Make sure bottom's out on the bottom, guys. There we go. That's better. Make sure bottom's out. It didn't have any retention, and you didn't know where your detents were, so that's good. Next, we're going to start with the engine throttle number 1. That's going to be this guy here. So it's got 2 of these auto throttle disconnect switches here, right? This is going to be the left side one. It's just going to slide on clip right here until it goes all the way down. Okay. Engine number 2 is going to be in the middle. It's going to have no buttons on it. Goes right here. Clips in. And number 3 engine is going to have another button, and that's going to go in the 3rd spot. Insert and put it down. There we go. So the throttles are on. Next, we're going to do the I'm going to move this over here. Let me reposition. Let me make sure this is focused there. Okay. Now we're going to do this flap detent thing, and this little box here is going to go over where the number 4 throttle would normally sit on this. So that just goes over that. Actually, maybe be all the way down. Yep, it goes all the way down. So bottom out the number 4 throttle to that cutoff detent thing, and you can put this in and just clip it in till bottoms out. There you go. Last thing, which is going to require your tool, is going to be this flap handle. But what you're going to need to do is take your screwdriver and back out this screw here, because it's a set screw, and you want to make sure that when you look in there, your set screw is not protruding into the inside. You want to back it out that far. Then you're going to take this and install it with the screws facing out right here. Okay, once it's fully seated down and sitting on that first detent, you're going to take your screwdriver and you're going to tighten that set screw. It doesn't need to be smoked down. Just give it the German torque, Guten tight. Okay, it's a set screw. It doesn't have a torque value. So when you start feeling it get tight, that's all you need. All right, now I'll show you how it works. So you got your flap handle, which does have some really nice detents. Okay. So you got up, retract, and then your slats are basically sitting on top of the detent. They don't have a defined detent. So this would be slats extend. So this I could see this giving people trouble, because you're going to easily overshoot that and go into the dial-up flap setting, which is here. On the MD-11, you have a little dial-up flap thing that you'll dial in the flap setting, and it puts it into this detent here. Flaps 28 is there. Flaps 35. Flaps 50. And every time you move it, you have to lift the handle up. It's spring-loaded down, which I think that works pretty good. All right, now we're down over to the throttle handles themselves. So right here is where the regular idle thrust setting would be. And here is that Honeycomb Bravo bottom detent. It's not actually like an axis, it's just a switch. So let's say you're flying an Airbus. You know how the A320 has reverse throttle, reverse levers that just basically go backwards like that? You can do that on a Honeycomb Bravo, but the MD-11 doesn't work that way. So when I bought these, I wanted that piece that goes underneath here to keep them from going into that, because it's just a pain in the butt. So sometimes when you go to throw your reverse levers, you go and you yank them hard and you push the throttles down here, and now you have to fight to get it back over that hump to run the throttles up again. So that's where they sit normally, okay? I would say the feel in the hand is very good. One thing I do like about this is the shape of the handle. This is very MD-11 DC-10 throttle handle, so the shape is really nice. I like that. And I do like that we have an auto throttle disconnect on both sides here, because that's what these switches are on the MD-11, not a go-around button. That would be here in the center. I think they missed an opportunity to put one in for the MD-11. This could be a go-around button here, is what would normally be on the MD-11. And these are your auto throttle disconnect. But I like having that here because it's a pain to not have that. And again, I've already complained about the reverse levers having basically no retention at all. I mean, these things just flop around. Watch. If you throw these down hard enough, they could conceivably go in reverse when you don't want them to, and that would be bad. So that needs to be fixed. Right? These things that are bowed out here and totally skipping a little dimple in the detent, that's one of my biggest complaints here. So that's an issue. And again, on the Honeycomb Bravo, this is an on and off switch, and it doesn't go, it's not bi-directional, it's unidirectional. So on my setup, when I want to use the reversers, I have to throw them out, then I use the throttles to modulate the thrust, then I go back to reverse idle, then I have to cycle them to stow the reversers. That has nothing to do with these throttles. That's just how X-Plane and this system works. Normally you would have your you would modulate the reverse thrust with these levers, but it doesn't work that way in this thing. Not the end of the world. And then the last thing is the spoiler handle, which, by the way, I do like. So you don't lift it up, it just drops down into the next detent. You'll probably have to mess with your axes in X-Plane to get them to work properly, or whatever game you play. I play X-Plane, you may play Microsoft Flight Simulator. You'll probably have to make sure that this position works with the aircraft and puts it into the right spot, but the detents work very nice. So, bottom line, build quality, I give it a 5 out of 10. Due to the really lack of attention to detail to the 3D printing leftover pieces, and the fact that these came with these parts bowed out. And also, I don't know what's going on here where my piece is missing, but that counts as build quality to me, because if they changed the design of this, they didn't let me know, and I paid for this. So they're gonna hear about that. Ergonomics, I would say they're good. This works excellent. This flap handle works very nice. I like these detents. So I give that 8 out of 10 for ergonomics. I like having my auto throttle disconnect buttons here. And I've already talked about this, so there's no need to go on that again. So that's my review of these ProDeskSim MD-11 Throttle parts for your Honeycomb Bravo. Let me know in the comments what you think about this and my concerns with it. And I'm not telling you not to buy these. I'm just telling you this is what you can expect when you get yours, and you may need to contact them if you don't like what you got, which I will be doing. Thanks, guys, and I'll catch you later.